Well, we're back. So, how was your Christmas?
It was really heartwarming. Very
Nice.
intimate group. Just my two kids, my brother, sister-in-law, and his one daughter came for dinner, and it was really nice. It was really nice. I mean, too much food, of course,
Yeah, I've got
but it
leftovers
was
for the
good.
week.
But I have to tell you I'll tell you a funny story first, and this precedes Christmas. I like to have you know, a Christmas something gift to give my kids, just one that's kind of special. Um, and sometimes, like a couple years ago, I had a whole Christmas that revolved around my husband. But this year, I don't know if you remember, um, back in the summertime, the Studio B Art Gallery had a project called Legacy. And part of that is we had a mural wall in town that people could contribute to. And it was Before I Die, I Want to. And then people
Right,
filled in various expressions. You know all about that and the controversy we had
right.
recently and all that. But
Yeah.
during the summer, somebody said to my husband, "What have you added to the wall? What do you want before you die?" Okay. And he said, "The
Uh-oh.
only thing I want is to eat raisin drop cookies again." And
You
so
told me that.
he ended up putting a little note on the Before I Die wall. So as I told you, probably I told you, my plan was to give him a gift of raisin drop cookies for Christmas. Okay. So
Nice.
last
Did you pull it off?
Friday, yes, but there's kind of a fun story for me about it. When he went to see his good friend in the morning, as he normally does, and then he had a Christmas party in Allentown following that. So I thought, okay, I have time now that I can make these cookies. So last Friday, I made the cookies, right? And the recipe is the last time I made them was 25 years ago.
Oh,
So the recipe I had was kind of smudged about how long to bake the cookies. So I thought I remembered a time, like 8 minutes, between 8 and 10 minutes, right? So I made all these cookies and I kept watch over them and baked the first batch at 8 minutes and then added another minute. And the second batch, baked it at 9 minutes and added another minute and so forth. Okay. Anyway, I got them all done, all put away, all hidden, etc. A couple of days before Christmas, I went to check on them and they were all wet. You know, they weren't, they didn't feel baked. So I thought,
so they were
oh
like really
God,
soft,
I'm,
wet, or
yeah, 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 and wet. Anyway, I thought that I can't, this is ridiculous. I must not have baked them long enough. I must have been wrong the about the recipe about how long to bake them. And I thought, well, I can do one of two things. I can throw them out and start all over again. By that time, I didn't have the raisins to do that. Anyway, or I can say, what the heck, and put them in the oven for 400 degrees and bake them again. So that's what I did. Okay. I took them all out. Now, this happened. I can't even remember. I can't even remember, even though it was just a couple days ago. I took them
so?
all out
Wait,
of the
which
tins.
Friday? Which
Oh,
Friday did you
yeah, yeah,
bake?
yeah,
Just
yeah,
this
yeah.
past Friday or the
Yes,
previous
this
one?
past Friday. This
Okay.
past Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, whatever it was, Saturday, I guess, whenever it was, I checked them. Whenever it was, I checked them and they were too wet.
Right.
Paul went to visit his friend again, and I thought I only have a few minutes this time. So I took them all out of the tins, put them on baking sheets, put them back in the oven, right? And baked them again for a solid 11 minutes, right? And got them out of the oven and hidden before he got home from his little visit with his friends, right? But when I introduced his gift yesterday, I said, okay, this is your gift. It was an epic fail. because I figured they would be awful. But he opened the tin right away, ate one right away, and said, "What are you talking about? They're perfect." So,
Oh, wow.
so now we've just added another story to our gifting history, and it's the year of the double baked raisin
Yeah.
cookies. So there we
I was
go.
gonna say, did you just create a new recipe?
No, it's the same recipe, but I guess I'm going to have to bake them harder. Amy remembers that years ago, decades ago, when we baked them after they came out of the oven, we covered them with a cloth or something or a tea towel or paper towels. I don't know. I don't remember that, but she does, and so does Paul. So, anyway, maybe I'll try it again in another 20 years.
Mom did stuff like that when she set them out. Well, when she did like rollout cookies or
Uh-huh.
chocolate chip cookies, she would set them out to cool off
Mhm.
before putting them away.
Mhm.
Did you do that? Were they sitting out on the counter for a little bit first?
They were I had to bring them up to the second bedroom to hide them. But yeah, they were setting out for hours.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I said to Paul and Amy, I soaked the raisins a full 24 hours before baking. Said maybe I was only supposed to soak them for 3 hours, but they said they remembered it was supposed to be overnight. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, he's enjoying the cookies, and so there
So
we
did
are.
you do it at Amy's or at Jeff's, or did
Nope,
you take the risk and
nope.
do it at home?
I did it at
Wow.
home because he had a party to go to.
Yeah, you're like
So
a
I
spy.
knew, yeah. So I knew I had a little bit of time, and the party was in Allentown. So I mean, that's a couple hours worth. So I had a couple hours.
So an Allentown party, is that his casino
Client.
buddies or
No,
okay.
no, no. This is a client he has in Allentown. So
So is
anyway,
he still working?
yes, yes.
So
He's
he still has like
semi.
he did like
Mhm.
signs and what have you, right?
Yeah. Well, he's a graphic designer and a marketer. And so he
Okay.
does, he does all kinds of graphic design work for Zuber Realty and
Oh yeah.
for this company in Allentown, PC Products. And if people ask him to do a project, he'll do it. For example, I asked him to make the Expression business cards and Expression logo, for the news
Yeah.
site that I do. So he does a lot of free work for people and has a couple clients that help him pay the taxes on the house every year. So
Nice.
that's
Yeah.
what he
That
does.
works.
Yeah. Yep. 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 But he's still working. He's down in his office most days, all except Mondays when he usually goes to the casino. And of course, he didn't go to
Yeah.
casino yesterday, so he had to go today.
Right. Oh, you got to get caught up.
Yeah. 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 Anyway,
How
so
what
do you
is
have
his
a
streak
story?
like? Is he I saw him, yeah. What is his streak like though? Is he cuz did I ever tell you about Louis Black, the Jewish comedian from Baltimore?
Oh, I love
And
him.
you know, I mean, and
Yes,
I
I
only said
do.
he's Jewish because that's part of his stick. He cracks all these different Jew jokes,
Yes.
but he also talks about gamblers
Mm,
have the highest level of anticipation, and there's no level of confidence higher than the gambler.
right.
And he talks about as they go into the casino after a string of losses. Today, the casino owes me.
Oh, Paul's
Today's the
Paul's
day.
Paul's comment is, "I've got him right where I want him." Well, last week I think he won money,
Nice.
and
What's his
so
game, by the way? I think you told me this before.
right now just plays a particular slot machine. It's his
Oh.
machine, and he says when that machine goes away, he said he's probably done. I'll believe that when I see
Well, what we have to do is schedule a trip of ourselves and make sure that
it.
there's somebody sitting in that machine just to screw with him.
Well, that happens too. And then he has to wait till they run out of money till he can get on his machine. Yeah. There's only one machine. It's a bank of machines. So there are six of them. But
It's a what
so,
machine?
there's a bank of them, of six, a
Oh,
bank of
oh,
six
gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
machines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has the
That's usually the
opportunity to
case,
sit
though.
at six. Pardon me?
That's usually the case. Slot machines usually
Yeah,
have some sort of theme,
exactly.
like Wheel of
Yeah,
Fortune or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. Well, he's got dragons,
Okay.
river dragons. Yeah,
Okay. And this is the place that this is the one up in Bethlehem, right?
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. So he, like I said, he won some money last week, so he's feeling like he's allowed.
Yeah. That's it. We all have our reasons.
Well, last week, part of last week, or 10 days ago, or something like that, the casino gave him a $50 gift card that he could use anywhere on site, at the shops that are up there, or for dinner or lunch or whatever. So he said, "Do you want to go with me?" Which I rarely do, because I'm no fun. Um, no,
Well, wait
I'm
a
no
minute.
fun.
You, you're
I'm
no fun at the
I
casinos, and he's no
no.
fun at the bars.
Right. Yes, exactly. Anyway, so I said, "Yeah, I want the $50 gift card. Maybe I'll find a present for you," because by that time, at that time, I really didn't have an idea for Amy, I guess. Anyway, so aside from a fire extinguisher that she asked for Christmas, very practical woman. Anyway, so we went up to the
So that's
casino and
that's 20 some years or 30, I don't know how old Amy is, 20 or 30 some years of getting toilet paper and toothpaste
yeah,
and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, so we went up together to the casino, and he sent me off to the shops to do some shopping while he played his River Dragons. But I didn't find anything to buy, so I came back and said, "Okay, what are we going to do with this now?" He said, "Well, we can use it for dinner." So we went and had dinner on the $50 gift certificate. It was really
Nice.
nice. It was really nice. Yeah. But no, I'm no fun, because I hate it there. I don't like gambling. I only like it when I win. Okay?
That's when most people like it. Yeah.
Exactly. I used
I'd
to
say
say
you're
that all
playing
the
the
time.
averages there.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we used to play roulette. That was our game before, but it got too expensive for us when we weren't doing the winning. We had done for 6 or 7 years. Anyway, so we just had dinner, but I'm no fun, because I don't want to be there, and so I'm always ready to go, and he's always ready to pull out more money from his wallet and play some more, because I've got him just where I want him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another $20 is going to do it, and I want to go home. So I don't ever I don't ever want to go with him when he goes to the casino, because I'm no fun. So that's the
That
deal.
sounded like it sounded like you both managed anyway.
We do just fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when he's gone at the casino, I'm usually here talking to you. So that's a good thing.
Right. Right. So yeah, you asked about here. Obviously, as
Yeah.
you know, I was already with the family for the holidays this year for over Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
So Zach made some plans to be with his mom and half brother for part of the day. I don't know if the half brother made it or not, but he went with his mom, and they were going to be delivering sweets to like elderly people, like brownies and such.
Oh,
I
nice.
don't know if that actually came to fruition, because he said they just kind of hung out for a little bit, and then I think he said she cooked, which is all impressive, because he kind of dropped us on the last minute. Um, I thought he was going to be here most of the day,
Hmm.
and then like later, well, he spent the whole weekend with his buddies. Literally, I mean, he wasn't even home. Um,
Ah,
he drops the yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna visit with my mom and brother, and I'm like, really? And
wow.
my I was pissed and hurt, and kind of got over it, forced myself to get over it kind of fast, because um
That's tough.
my first reaction was, he hasn't seen her in probably 8 or 9 months.
Mm.
He might see her 2 times a year, regardless of how much they talk. She's recovering addict with some pretty hard shit. As a result, as you know, he's been in, till I came along, he was in foster care since he was 8. So
Wow.
10 years.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm like, I wanted to say something, but then I'm like, no, that's just going to make my situation worse. And it's
Yep.
certainly not going to make his any better either. And I also kind of thought that, that's not what, being selfish and having it with me is not what Christmas is really about.
Wow.
So I just, let him go off with mom. And when he first broke it to me, I made it known that, you haven't told me this. And he said, of course, says he did. And I'm like, I remember shit like that, especially, for when we had plans with the neighbors and so on. He did say there was something over the weekend. I'm like, fine, yeah, go now, get it over with so we can have dinner on Christmas. And then that fell through. So
Wow.
I kind of
Oh,
was
I'm so
thinking, okay,
sorry.
well, yeah, it's done. And then, but no, he was back, soon after dinner, and actually had a pretty nice time, with the neighbors, and we exchanged gifts with them, and he got this pull up bar that now he's into working
Mhm.
out with the pull up bar and the dumbbells that I actually got my ex got he left here that he uses when he comes,
Okay.
and so he's been doing that, but he's really leaned down. He's really lost a lot of weight. He was like almost 250 pounds when I met him.
Wow.
He's grown and he's lost about 45 pounds in a year. And to a point where the one neighbor who moved away came back to visit about 6 weeks or so ago, 6 or 8 weeks ago, didn't even recognize him.
Get out.
Zach walks back into our mutual neighbor friends back of the house into their bar room, and he says hi, and the guy says hi, like, who the fuck are you? And had no idea it was Zach.
No kidding.
Um, yeah, he's really leaned out, and so ultimately I was just like, you know what, and I see him every day. We've already exchanged some of our gifts because, and some of it he doesn't even get yet. I'm getting him springs for his car, part of the suspension,
Hmm.
and I didn't have enough money to get it right before Christmas, but he didn't even decide on it because we were talking about some other things until the week of Christmas. At which point, forget about it. You might as well save it for after the new year.
Right.
So I'm going to get paid later this week, and then I'm going to order it, then. And he already got tint for his car, his windows tinted for his birthday. So, I'm dropping a pretty penny. And I didn't want that to be the reason why he should be staying with me, is
Right.
that I'm just spending money on him.
Yep.
Because it's not why I felt he should have been staying with me.
No.
And that's why I decided, just, let him go and spend that time. I kind of think she needs him more than I do. Not that I don't need him, but, from a desperation perspective, she needs to stay on a schedule,
Hmm.
needs to stay occupied, active, so she doesn't get any temptation.
Hmm.
And it's like, yeah, no, do the right thing by her and him, and just suck it up.
That's really hard, though. That's hard. I feel you.
It was at first, but I felt better about it, because I felt better about myself. Um, and he was almost pretty immediately apologetic too. Like, at minimum, he didn't communicate his plans very well, and I think he knows. He never said nothing about Christmas Day.
Right. Well, he was probably, I use this word loosely, he was probably afraid to because he knew
Yeah,
how
yeah,
you would feel.
yeah,
So I'm sure he was really hesitant until the very last minute.
yeah.
Wow, I feel for both of you. Well, it sounds to me like you handled it perfectly.
And everything worked out otherwise. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, the and then of course I can't go Christmas shopping without screwing something up. Um,
Mm.
my my neighborhood, I think the state of Florida for that matter, are all functioning alcoholics. and that's been kind of the running gag, is that I'm an enabler by getting them all alcohol for Christmas because I don't know what else to
Mhm.
get them.
Mhm.
And I was actually getting them that when I was getting something else for the neighbor, for her, not just as her gift, but on her behalf. And she wanted this malted caramel whiskey, and I found it, and I'm like all proud of myself because I had no idea where I was going to find this at the liquor store.
Mhm.
And she says, "No, it's the wrong brand. That's too expensive." I'm like,
There you
okay.
go.
Um, she said, "Go check over by the ice machine." So I did, but they only had like apple, like sour apple and
Mhm.
peach, and then just regular plain old whiskey. And it was definitely a cheaper brand. And I said, "There's no salted caramel here." She says, "Well, I
Mhm.
was just there and they said they would have it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I think you just asked for salted caramel whiskey and they
Mhm.
upsold you to the more expensive one." I said, "Well, who is this for? Is this, for your stock or is this for a gift for somebody else?" She says, "No, it's just for me." I said, "Well, then I'll get the more expensive one and that'll be the
Mhm.
one that I get you."
Mhm.
And we have this, I call her a neighbor, even though she lives about 5 or 6 miles away because she's here all the time. Um, this
Okay.
girl, this lady, Eileen, um, I said, "Is this what Eileen would drink too?" And she said, "Oh, yeah, absolutely." So I get them both a bottle of this. It was only like $22 or something like that, and the cheaper one was 18. And I
Mhm.
get it. To a lot of people, that $5 means something. It did to
Mhm.
me. I'm down. We're going to be eating leftovers until I get paid. Um, but I get them each a bottle, or at least I think I get them each a bottle of salted caramel whiskey, and I give it. They get wrapped up. I give them last night, and Eileen gets hers or pulls the one I give it to her because I didn't. When I say wrapped up, I mean in the liquor store
Right,
plastic
right,
wrap.
right, 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 right.
That was the extent of the wrapping this year.
Right. I got it.
Um, and I mean, you think of it, the wise men didn't come with wrapped gifts. They just gave the gold,
Right.
frankincense, and myrrh.
Mark.
Um, so she takes the bottle. She says, "Oh, peanut butter whiskey."
What?
I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean peanut butter whiskey? It's salted caramel, like you guys like." And I look at it, and it says peanut butter flavored whiskey. I'm like, "Motherfucker,
No.
god damn it!" And so I'm like, and I look at the other bottle, which is in the same bag, and there it is,
Mhm.
salted caramel,
Okay.
both with the same color label. So, and I never even saw any peanut butter. There was another flavor of something by that more expensive brand. I don't even remember what. But yeah, so
Well, did they try
now
the
Zach
peanut
and I
butter
have a
whiskey?
bottle of peanut butter whiskey in the freezer.
So nobody tried the peanut butter whiskey?
Oh, they figured they would like it, but they really loved this salted caramel.
Oh,
So
okay.
now
All right.
the liquor store is going to make out because I got to go buy another bottle of
Right.
that to finish the gifting, and
Yeah.
then they've got my curiosity piqued. I'm probably going to get a bottle for myself and put that in with the peanut butter, and there goes another $50.
There we go. There we go.
But no, it was good. I still walk around the house, outside and inside, and walk around the neighborhood, just going, "Wow, I can't believe I live here."
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I my goal moving to Florida out of the Secret Service was to get the hotel down in Gulfport. And I was going to
Oh,
live at the hotel, and that was going to be, the next career.
gotcha.
And that deal fell through. So I was like, well, I need a place to live.
Mhm.
And I started by, looking at a place to rent while I did some repairs to my credit.
Mhm.
And then my mortgage broker said, "No, you're fine. Let's get you cleared right away before rates go up." Because they were all predicting the rates going up, which they did. They more than
Did.
doubled.
Yeah.
I'm at like 3.23 or something like that.
Nice.
And
Nice.
you'll never get that now. I don't care how good your credit is for
Yep.
probably at least another 6 months.
Yep.
And so, I mean, there are 200 properties within a mile of my house that are on the market right now. 200, 1 mile away.
Wow.
Um, and so when I said, when I realized, okay, I can get a mortgage, all I wanted was like a modest house,
Mm-hmm.
that, because I really wanted to put the money into a boat,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that, all these houses that I'm looking at are somewhere, depending on the neighborhood, they're somewhere on a canal that gets right out to the Gulf.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, 1 story, 3 bed, 2 bath, real simple, easily affordable. And I'm like, yeah, this is definitely for a 1 story.
Mm-hmm.
I lucked out because I'm at altitude for the neighborhood. I'm at like 7.5 feet above sea level.
Mm-hmm.
And when Ian and Adalia came along, I
Mm-hmm.
barely got any water damage inside the house. Nothing from Ian, because by the time it came up to land. It came up the
Mm-hmm.
peninsula, not up the coast. And it was, a smaller tropical storm by the time it got here. Adalia, because the water, they believe there's nothing really proving this other than data, and that is that because the area in the Gulf around here is so shallow, like dive shops have to go an hour out into the water before they can get consistent depths beyond 30 feet.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so because it's so and plenty of low tides, some boats can't go out at all. Like sailboats get stuck wherever they're at.
Wow.
Um, a hurricane needs deep, warm water.
Mm-hmm.
And so when these what are called spaghetti models come up, they start coming right for us. Adalia was supposed to hit land right here. And by the time it actually came through, it went from going 30 miles west of here to 130 miles west of here, and then hit land up on the elbow for where the peninsula meets the panhandle.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, we haven't really been hit in more than 60 years by an actual named. There's one storm that they always talk about from back in '93 called the No Name Hurricane. Excuse me, the No Name Storm. It came up so fast, the National Weather Service didn't have time to assign a
Didn't
name
have
to it.
time. Didn't have time to name
And
it.
that was the storm. I just last week saw pictures of what this neighborhood looked like. There were pickup trucks that were just had the windshield above water.
Wow.
That's how deep it was here.
Well, interestingly, I finally had an opportunity uh, to the wife of my uncle. Back in the day, my uncle is no longer living, but for 10 years or so, Paul and I would go to Florida to Fort Myers Beach, where they had this home,
Yeah, you told me about
and
that trip.
yeah, and I have Paul and I have wondered if the home survived the
Ian.
last storm. Yeah, and so I finally had an opportunity to talk to her, and she said no, it was in total. I mean, she had sold it about 8 months before.
Oh,
Yeah, lucked out, but she said it was all, just in shambles, that there was nothing left of the home. And it was so sturdy. It was so sturdy. So I can
was it
only
block?
imagine. Pardon me?
Was it block?
It was like a log cabin.
Oh wow. Okay.
I know. It was really unique. It was a unique property. It was a unique property, and it was right on right on the Gulf. So,
Now you would not imagine what um, construction standards or code requirements are for coastal living compared to what
I,
my house
mhm,
is,
mhm,
compared to if I were to rebuild it, what I would have to do.
right.
The foundation has to be concrete, of course, but the first floor has to be block with steel and concrete reinforced down the center of the block. And that has to be 18 feet high.
She said. She heard now at Fort Myers Beach it needs to be 22 feet.
Could be because it's a county by county restriction.
Hmm.
And we went from I don't know exactly when, but here in my county, I don't. Of course, I don't say what my address is, but in
Right.
my particular county, we went from 15 to 18 feet,
18. I
which
think they went,
with an
yeah.
8 foot ceiling, your living space is on the third floor.
Hmm. Wow.
And
Anyway, so there we
yeah,
have it. There we have it. So that was Christmas at our house, and it was fun. Too much food, but it was a really nice gathering of people who'd known and cared about each other for a long time.
nice.
So, do you have plans for New Year's?
There is a party in our association building here, which is right across the street from me. So, I mean, because it's so close, I could probably at least make an appearance at that. And then I know the neighbors are going to be doing something. Plus, my new light system that I purchased over the course of the past year, the rear lights, the right lights that are on the canal and through the outdoor kitchen and so on, are on a Bluetooth remote control.
Hmm.
So I thought about maybe we all move outside for the ball dropping, and at midnight I hit a button and all these lights go crazy, flashing
Oh,
and
cool. Yeah.
different colors because there's 16 different colors that these LED lights can light up. And so for the past month,
You've
some of
been
them were
playing.
red and well, no, some of them were red and some of them were
Oh, okay.
green.
Green.
And
Okay.
because they're all on the same frequency,
Hmm.
I had to have some of them off while I,
Hmm.
hit the red button to turn
Hmm.
those lights to red, then
Hmm.
turn those lights off, turn the others on, and hit the green button to get those lights
Hmm.
green. And my whole house, front and back, was in red and green lights.
Yeah.
So
I liked
just
the
today, I took
photo of
down
it.
the.
It was pretty. Yep.
Oh, yeah, you did see that, right?
Yeah. Hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So just
Pretty
today, I took
impressive.
down the cellophane wraps around the wall
Hmm.
sconces or scansa, the light fixtures that are on the wall. Um, and then some of the cheaper ones that are out front that are a little bit more theft
Hmm.
susceptible
Hmm.
have a filter that you unscrew this cap and put a lens in, a green or red lens,
Yeah.
and then it's green or red. Downside to that is it doesn't change and flashy like the other lighting system does, but
Yeah.
that's just for the front. I
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
lenses are out now, and it's all. I like it. It's a very elegant look. Just
Nice.
having the wall backlit with floodlight and
Yep.
without lighting up the actual land. I think it's a safer because if somebody's walking along the house, you'll see their shadow,
Uh-huh.
up against their
Ah.
silhouette up against the house, and
Yeah.
that's always been a huge security thing that people get wrong. They put the lights out into the yard where they're going to see the bad guy, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, because that's the
Well,
bad guy's going to see that.
you have some unique history that helps you understand all
Oh
that
yeah,
security
yeah,
stuff. Yeah. Excellent.
yeah. One neighbor
Excellent.
once told me, he said, "Dude, your house is lit up like the White House," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Were you expecting one of the
Yeah.
other places?
That's awesome. Well, very good. So, as the
Yeah.
new year approaches, are there any changes you're thinking about making to your life or your lifestyle or any
Well,
what used to be
I think,
called resolutions?
yeah, we probably have a whole episode to talk about that because we've talked about Christmas for almost an episode now already. I
All
don't know
right.
if you want me
Well,
to
then
keep
we'll
us
save
on
it.
a schedule for the next one, or yeah,
That's
we're
fine.
coming up on 35 minutes already.
All right. Well, we'll end this one then, and we can tell our audience to look forward to our next episode, and maybe they'll learn a little bit more about who we are and why we do what we do. How's that?
Definitely.
Okay, so I'm Jane Stahl,
And I'm Yergz.
and this is
Both sides now.
Dice Now.
Merry belated Christmas and happy
Yeah,
soon to
same
be
to
New Year,
you.
everybody.